Before we even do the introduction, welcome to Ice Mountain.
Yes.
This is our version of it.
So,
because we have one stuck up there.
welcome to 151 Garage. I'm Sean.
I'm Jill.
Diesel's standing right here looking at us awkwardly still because he wants to go for a ride in the Bronco. So our black diamond is actually stuck in Ice Mountain with the delivery date now changed to April 1st-ish. April Fool's Day.
Really? April Fool's Day? The hell, Ford.
We'll probably still get it before the one stuck in Miami, but whatever.
We actually got a lot of comments asking for mods for the Bronco Sport. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of mods out there yet, but we did come across Diode Dynamics. And what these little guys are gonna do, they're gonna replace my OEM fog lights.
Yeah, so this setup, and we'll link it down below, comes with the fog lights themselves. And the kind of unique feature of these are, they are backlit in amber. I think you can get them in different colors as well. Yeah. Backlit red, backlit blue, depending on the lights themselves. But these come in backlit amber. They're extremely small, but they're extremely powerful.
They do, they're tiny. The packaging is very good.
Yeah, their packaging is pretty damn awesome. Now, this is the light you're putting in there. And it looks small, but if you go look at the fog light in the bumper for the Bronco Sport, it's not huge. So this right here fits perfectly. You also have the wiring that plugs straight up to the fog light, the stock fog light location, as well as a bracket that holds this fog light in.
Kinda cute.
So it'll just go like that. And it'll bolt in from behind. We'll show you the installation process. We'll show you the
tongue twist, everything.
I don't think you use any of that because all the harness is this. So this right here, you won't use any of this stuff. Your harness setup comes with everything. So that's kind of a unique thing.
If we do not use any of this stuff, always keep it just in case, you know, because you just never know when you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
I would rather keep extra supplies than toss them out and be like, shit, we had one of those.
So I'm assuming that these come pre-wired. So it's a plug and play from factory to factory, or from that to factory. So in the package of the brackets and the mounting comes these. This right here is the wire that goes from the fog light to your factory connection, I believe. It should. Mm-hmm. And then this goes to whatever amber light you want to put, whether it just be your running lights or your turn signals, I suppose. You can go either way. I don't know. It does come with these, which we've used before, and I really don't like these.
Oh yeah, we used those on the speaker installation.
But since it's since it's an area where it's a little bit weathered and you have a disconnect here, to disconnect it, that's waterproof. So you have a waterproof connection here, you'll have a waterproof connection here, you'll have a waterproof connection here, but you have this. And I understand there's no real connection to go to this, but what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna end up splicing into the wire and making sure it's nice and waterproof, because if you do wanna remove the lights, you still have this connection right here to remove it and not have to worry about undoing this connection right here. So we'll look into that as we go. We'll run the wires and we'll show you exactly how we do it. I just don't like the water getting into this and maybe shorting it out or causing a problem later on.
If we can improve on something, we're gonna do it.
If it's inside the vehicle, I have no problem with it. Outside the vehicle, in the weather, I wouldn't use those. But we'll look into it. We'll see what we can do. And we'll go from there. So we'll go out, we'll see what we need to do. We'll show you guys exactly what we need to do to install them and go through the process, okay?
Diode Dynamics set of stickers. These are so cool.
So if you can't tell, they just look like a white block. It's white sticker on a white background. So when you peel them off, it's clear with the white sticker embossed in it. At first I was looking at it going, why the hell did they just send me clear freaking things? Until I looked closely and it's very slight.
Yeah,
You
I
can
was
see
looking for the
the
stickers, and I'm like, well, what the hell are these for?
the diode, the DD, the double D thing, Diode Dynamics, and the words underneath. Yeah, I think it's funny. I never noticed it. I'm just sitting there looking like, why did they send me these? Oh, okay. I thought they were like covers over something, but anyways, we'll go out there and go install them. Okay, first off, we already did this one off camera, and that's what it looks like right there. So we do have a plan. We did this one, it's fairly easy. This one over here has a different step to it because your box is right back there, ECU or whatever is right back there. But Jill's gonna do all the work because it's her car. Well, at least most of the work. And then on top of that, there's one last screw underneath the bottom. That should be the one for underneath.
Yeah, the screw in the bottom is a number 7.
I believe it's a number 7. That's what was on there. I think all the hardware on this that you use for this is a number 7. And all it is a single screw. We're not removing the entire thing. All we're removing is the first portion because we can peel it back enough. And we have a way to keep it out of the way and not break anything. We'll show you in just a second.
Okay, so what we just did is I pulled the liner back. As you can see, here's the white foamy stuff, and then there's the actual liner. So we pulled it loose. We moved the tire out this way so we can tuck it behind there and then use the tire to hold that in place while we work. That way it's not fighting us.
Yeah,
so
that way we don't have to worry about cutting up our hands trying to hold that out.
And here's your computer right here.
So we need to remove that, move it down or unbolt it and slide it out of the way. And the light is right behind that. In fact, you can see the back of it right there. So this right here, that right there, which is where I'm pointing at, is the computer, or is the light itself. So there's only 3 bolts holding it on. You do have to move this out of the way, so. Works much better because this right here
keeps getting caught up in the wire.
Keeps getting caught up in the wires that are behind this panel, and I'll show you once we get out there what I had to take off.
Yeah, the 2 wiring harness.
No, there's one in the back.
Yeah, I know that.
If you don't have a tow hook, this is much easier. Tow hook's like right in the way. Mm-hmm. Okay, see if you can pull it out a little bit. So let me show them where we're talking about. So after further looking, there's a bolt right there that I took out. There's a bolt right back here that I took out. You can see the piece right there. So right on top of this, there's a bracket here, and there's a bracket on the back side of that. So right there, a nut you have to take off on that. The only way to access that is to go through the front. That right there is the hole you go through. This right here makes it a pain because your arm is real tight, as you can tell. Red marks all over my arm right now. With that out of the way, we will go ahead and access the light. It's not the greatest access, but you'll be able to move this out of the way to access the 3 bolts. And once we get the 3 bolts out, we'll show you where it is. There's one on the bottom, one on this side, one on that side. There's a plug on the back, and there's a plug on this that will take off as well.
That's one thing good about my car. The bumper's kind of like flinging the hardware down underneath of it.
Instead of letting it roll all the way forward.
When we did that one, they were constantly just going underneath the car.
Got it. I know where it comes out of. It's like those vending machines, you put a quarter in and frickin' things, ding, 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 ding. Well, there it goes. It just spits it out at the bottom.
Here, pluggy, pluggy, pluggy. There you go. Ow.
She's learning the technique of
Being an aviation mechanic.
being a mechanic by braille, because you can't see anything. Here, watch out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it. I know right where it's at.
Okay.
It's just,
Here, hold it.
it's a real pain to get to.
Oh, so much more room than the last place we did.
Yeah, see? That's the
so-
wiring harness that we're gonna be cutting into.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna verify, again, which one is the load and which one's the ground. So we wanna actually make sure it has the power going to the right wire. The one good thing about this is it uses just the one, so you just have to splice into the one wire, not both. We'll cut this back a little bit to give us a little more room. We won't have to move that. We'll just cut it back to about here. Splice into it. I believe the last one was the blue one. We'll verify once more. And then, it was? Okay, screw it then. We'll cut into the blue one. We'll verify it works before we put everything together, and then we'll tape it all up, put the covering over it, and make sure it's all pretty. Let's go ahead and cut it out a little bit. With this comes the plug itself and the one for the backlighting. So this right here plugs into the back of the light itself, the one that you're putting in. This right here goes into the stock fuse, or the stock plug that goes into, that used to go into the back of the stock light. And this right here goes into whatever you connect to amber lighting, so the backlighting that's on there. Now what we're doing is we're actually using this light right here. It's close, it is your driving light, amber driving lights, and we want that to shine along with this. I did cut this back just a little bit, very carefully. I took the sheathing off of it. What I'm gonna do is splice into the blue wire, and I'm gonna use these right here. What this is sleeve, has the solder in it already, and has little, basically when you heat it up, it'll melt and seal the ends.
This is what he's using.
Okay, close that up so she can't drop anymore. Because I really don't want to have to go. Oh.
But anyway, this is the things that we're using.
So I'm going to cut this off right here, which I did it on purpose. I want this a little bit longer because when I finally do all this, I'll go ahead and splice it. I'll splice it in there, and then when I do this, I'll actually be able to put everything over all the harnesses itself. So all I'm doing is putting this back a little bit to keep it so I don't have to worry about fighting the wire all the time. So this will come off and I'll slide the wire over everything. Cut this one in an appropriate place, right dead square in the center, instead of towards one side or the other, so you don't have to fight with it. Now what we're gonna do is something a little bit different. We did it the other way. I'm gonna do it this way a little bit nicer. So I'm going to slide this over the entire thing. Secure this to here. Slide it all the way back over. Right there is where the solder's going to be. Don't burn it too bad.
And don't burn it too bad.
There you go. It's all soldered in. As you can see, it melted all the solder in there. So it'll be good. Now, why I did this is I can just do this right here. Now what we're gonna do is, since that's still good, tape this up, protect it as much as we possibly can.
No, we're not cutting the wire, we're cutting the sheathing.
Yeah, they're cutting the sheathing. Kind of melted onto it, so now I can actually slide it all the way up as far as I need to protect all the wires. I'll tape up the end one more time just to verify. Now all I'll do now is, since I have this, cover this up. So before we go any further, let's see the light, plug it in, plug it into this. And if Jill would like to start the car, we'll take a look, or turn the lights on. We'll take a look and see the light itself. So, as you can tell, it has the amber to match the side. Go ahead and turn your fog lights on. There you go. Amber goes away, white comes on. Turn your high beams on. That goes out and amber comes back on. So, everything wired up. There is one thing you need to know. When you plug this plug in, it can go either way. If it goes the other way, this light won't work, where you have to have it a certain way. So there is no foolproof way. Just make sure that this light is working before you close up everything, because you might just have to unplug this and turn it around. So
yeah, we found that out when we did the other one.
So if you guys want to see old versus new, so you have this tab is the bottom, you have this tab which sticks up over to this side, and you have this tab down there. Now, when you take them out, do realize you can put, well, you can't put this light on the other side, because the way these are opposite, meaning this one is over here and the other one's pointing this way. So beware, if you're fighting with it, you may have this tab on the other light for the other side if you're trying to put it on. It doesn't matter which light, the lights are irrelevant. It's just the tabs are drivers and passenger. I don't believe they're notified, or I don't believe they're labeled which one's which, but you'll know pretty quick. There's only one way to go together, with the light on the back side where the bracket is, and then the bolt through. So there you go.
Oh, it does say.
Does it?
Right there, it says left hand.
Oh, that's what I get for not reading. That's how we build jet engines, so we just look at the pictures. They're pretty. They're colored pictures. They're way better than the black and white crap.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so when you put these back in, you want to make sure that they're out, because once they're in, once these go in, it spreads this out so you can't put them in. So you want to do that. So I try and make sure all of them are out before I do it. Like, for example, like this one, it's not pushed out. So when you try and push it in anywhere, it's not going to go in. You just take your tool. Okay.
Now you have one last thing. It's the bolt on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Get all this stuff out of her way. Your amber lights are on. Fog lights. And fog lights are on. Good job. So how do you like it? So these are...
They're a lot brighter.
Yeah,
we
a lot
already
brighter.
looked at that one at night, and yeah.
It was a lot brighter than the other one. So,
oh yeah, by a lot.
Yeah. Diode Dynamics, absolutely wonderful. Great product for the application. There really wasn't anything I needed to
Really
adjust or alter other than the wiring itself. And we knew, or the one plug itself, which we knew we were going to have to do. They do have a different solution of it, which is, it's almost like a splice-in type thing where you crimp it over, kind of like the ones I use for the speakers. I don't want to use something like that on a area where it's exposed to the weather because of
when you hit
water and stuff like that. I don't want any kind of short or anything. This one right here is pretty sealed the way it is. A lot of tape, a lot of protection. It is behind the wheel well stuff, so it's not too bad. Other than that, it was really...
It wasn't that bad of an installation. I mean, just take your time with it and have patience. Yeah, this side is going to be a lot tighter than the other side for obvious reasons.
It was really easy. The other side took us no time at all.
Yeah. But once you get all the crap out of the way over here, it's going to be quick.
Yeah, it's just a little bit tight
practice
with the
on
area.
that side first, and then come over here and do this one.
Hope you guys enjoy. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hope to see you next video. Bye.
Bye.
Actually, you can start the intro if you want.
Look at our good boy. You're so good.
He's pouting. I'm not in the Bronco yet. So first, before we start, please, a simulation of what it's like at Ice Mountain. For all those people that are out there that have a vehicle at Ice Mountain, please leave a comment down below.
And there's snow inside because there have been cases of snow intrusions reported.
So,
And we have a soft top.
please leave a like, please leave a comment. If you're one of those people, we have our Black Diamond that's stuck there till April Fool's Day. Scheduled date is April Fool's, ironically. So we know that's going to change.
Way to go, Ford.
We know that's going to change.
Couldn't pick another day.